Hello everyone, this is Michael from Valor Recon here today with another Valorant news video. Now today we had the new PBE for patch 4.03 come out, and in the actual patch notes it was a little bit disappointing with just a simple change to how sprays work. However, when we actually dig into the files of the game, there are some more interesting things that can be found, and a lot of the time the PBE doesn't have all of the features that come in the actual update, but a lot of the time scraps of those features can be found while data mining. So while doing some data mining, I found a couple interesting things, some of which are going to end up making it into next week's update. Some of them may come in the future and some may never come at all, but I do feel like it's pretty interesting to take a look at all of this. So let's start by talking about this. So this is a HUD icon of the ability of Gumshoe's ult. What that really means is this is Cypher's ult, and this is a brand new symbol for it. It's very, very similar, but you'll notice that his ult, like the circle in the middle, is actually only two halves in the real one. And so it could be that they are either changing his ult a little bit, and with it comes an icon change. Maybe this is just an old version that snuck its way into the game files. When you actually jump into the PBE and like pick Cypher, he does not have this new icon. So if I were guessing, this is something that we'll see once, maybe with the big update that's coming. You know, the next act, the entire purpose is supposed to be like refining the game. And so I can definitely see them doing some major character changes, one of which maybe being the Cypher, in which they find that this is a slightly better representation or a better looking representation of his ult. Not a huge deal, but it is something that's a little bit interesting. Next, we have these two icons, which are favorite and like favorite two. This doesn't tell us a lot, but it probably means you'll be able to favorite things like skins, sprays, cards, things like that. Things that maybe you have a lot of, but are having trouble finding the right one. So I don't think it'll be necessarily as useful on skins, unless, for instance, they let you favorite a skin and then at the beginning of each game, it randomly picks among your favorite skins. That could be something kind of cool. But I foresee this being something where, like, if there's a couple cards you like to switch between, you can favorite them all and it keeps them together. And that way it's not difficult to scroll through every card and every buddy and every spray, because as they add more to the game, that becomes more and more of a problem. Now, what the difference between the two icons are, I'm going to assume the one with the little line in it is saying that you have that one equipped, but it also could be maybe favorite for that purpose of seeing it in your collection, and the other one is favorite as in it randomizes it. We don't fully know all the features of this, but I'm going to guess that is what these are representing based on their names and what they kind of look like. They look like something that would be in the corner, maybe replacing the little empty circle that's currently there in the collection menu. Next, we have these. We have like an upload and a download looking button, as well as this other asset that is Crosshair Code entry modal, which essentially talks about getting a code for crosshairs. And if you actually look into the code of it, it talks about getting the crosshairs like details. And this was actually kind of revealed a while back, and I forgot. You're going to be able to kind of download other people's crosshairs by just having a code. And so it looks like they may be introducing this in this update, or prepping for it to be introduced. And there'll be a button where you can like copy and get a code, and then you can send it to someone and they can like make that their crosshair really quickly. Or you can paste in a code and get a crosshair that way. I think it's a really awesome feature. Won't, affect a lot of people, because a lot of people are just going to stick with their current crosshair. But it's one of those things that's really nice to see in a game where you do have a lot of customization available with your crosshair. Kind of similar Crosshair Code entry modal. This is actually in content UI screens shared modals. So essentially it is in the UI. It's going to be in the crosshair section. Next, we have this game mode. So this is in the game modes tab called Swift Play. Now, first when I saw this, I thought, oh, this is Spike Rush. But then I went back to last week's files and like the modes have names or different names. For instance, bomb, gun game, stuff like that. And those aren't the real names in game. Gun game is escalation. And so what they're called in development is not what the like marketing team ends up picking for the name. But it looks like we are getting some stuff about that. You might think, oh, this is Spike Rush, but Spike Rush is both Sight Rush, as well as a couple other weird ones. It's also under Orbs, but it's not Swift Play. Swift Play was not there last week. And you might say, why would it be a new like game mode? That seems like a pretty big thing. It's been a while. Replication was the last new game mode, and that seems like it's been almost a year since that popped up, which it hasn't. It's been a little bit less time than that. But it was the point where we got, at least one every act. It was like snowball fight, then escalation, then replication, and then it stopped. And my big theory was that the clash system or the tournament system has been taking the modes team's attention, but maybe this is a new game mode that we are going to be getting to see. And honestly, thinking back on it, outside of something like Spike Rush and Deathmatch when the game first started, these like fun game modes have never launched with an act. They've always been a week or two or an update or two after the actual act comes out. So it wouldn't be that crazy or unheard of to see that. Now, looking at those other files, we have tuning set modifier, swift play pips game state, swift play tuning set skirmish, swift play tuning set, PS home guard third person, PS home guard HUD. Now, I don't know necessarily what all of this is going to mean. Swift play made me think, oh, it's going to be short unrated without all the gimmicks of Spike Rush. But then also part of me thought, well, that's like a core game mode. It's not like a fun game mode. So then home guard over here, we just kind of last week got the hints that we were going to get a game mode involving capturing points, either through capture the flag or through like literally capturing points on the map. And so maybe home guard will have something to do with that. Pips could be like the amount of points you own. I don't really know what this is all necessarily hinting at, but I do think we are due for a new game mode soon, and this seems to be doing something. And the fact that it has VFX, by the way, that's what they're in order. So modifiers, tuning set modifier, pips is that one. Tuning sets is the tuning sets. And then home guard is VFX. So it would make sense that if you're guarding your home, maybe there's some VFX around the point that the enemy's trying to capture or something like that. I do think that could be a really, really, really fun game mode. But we'll have to see if that's what that ends up turning into. Again, this could all just be tests being done by them. I have seen, these game modes pop in and out of the game files because I've been following the game files for a while, just haven't done much with them. All right. So then we also have this, which is the daily ticket. We know that they're reworking how not collections, but how like daily wins and how rewards and progression work in the game. And one of the steps of this is daily login bonus. This is actually found in the same folder that the assets from last week. If you didn't see that video, I talked about loot boxes and the new icons depicting them. We kind of see this daily login bonus. So we might start getting a bonus just for logging in, which we don't have right now. Right now you have to do daily quests, but maybe that's what this means and it's just named slightly weirdly. All right. That is it for this video. There's some interesting things in there. We got the crosshair codes. We have maybe a new game mode potentially. We have favoriting skins. There's a decent amount of features in here. And typically the PvE is not even the full picture. Normally things data mined in the PvE end up coming out with the next update, but that seems like a lot of stuff for one update, especially a lot of stuff that isn't being tested in the PvE. These last two PvEs and updates have kind of been sad, so I'm really hoping we do get this massive amount of things. The last time I remember a major update coming was, I guess, back with the Act, and that was pretty much just Neon. Either way, I want to know what you guys think about all this in the comments down below. Do you think we're getting the favoriting and the crosshair stuff this next update, or do you think that's something that'll be coming with the next Act? I want to know all your opinions on this. Maybe they're saving up a lot of features to drop all at once so that the lack of character or map doesn't feel as big. Either way, I want to know all your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.